Hi, it's Penny, and welcome back to the next chapter in the I Just Did a Thing series. Let's jump right into it as I talk to you more about a creative approach to pivoting or making a change in your life and business. All right, here we go. Chapter 2. We're all born creative. Are you an artist? Of course you are. Artists make change happen. Artists are human who do generous work that might not work. Artists aren't limited to paint or museum. You're an artist as soon as you announce you are. As a leader, a coach, a contributor, a designer, a musician, an impresario, it's art if you let it be and if you care enough. That quote is by Seth Godin. And it's a great way to lead into chapter 2 of We're All Born Creative. Because we can all be creative. Think back to the time when your parents brought home a new TV or something really, really huge like that giant fridge and this great big box. Remember those days when the thing in the box was super cool, but you were really eyeing that huge piece of cardboard that was tossed to the side? And then for the next several hours, or even people like me, even days, you played with that box and that TV or that big appliance came in. Do you remember where your imagination went? Was it a castle? Maybe a boat? And then ask yourself, why did you spend so much more time playing with that box instead of watching the new TV? Think back to those moments when you were a kid and that box was more than just a piece of cardboard. You were using your imagination and being creative. No one had to teach you what to do with that cardboard. You just knew what would happen when you got out the markers and a pair of scissors. So as we move through this process, folks, I am asking you to believe that you can be creative, even if the last time you picked up a crayon was when you were 5 years old. So as I move through each one of these chapters and dig deep into this process of tapping into your creativity, I'm pretty sure of this, that you're going to start to uncover something deep inside of you. Something that you might not have felt since you were that little kid playing with a cardboard box. I look back on my childhood. I realized we had quite a lot of creative energy flowing in my house. Both my mom and my sister played the piano, and then later on my sister learned how to play the clarinet. And when I reached an age deemed old enough to dig into my own musical talents, my mother asked me if there was a particular instrument that I was interested in learning. Without hesitation, I said, "The drums! I want to learn how to play the drums." As a parent now, I can certainly understand her concerns with my enthusiastic response. She was thinking about the noise drums would make in our small 2-bedroom apartment. My mother's response as she shook her head was, how about we sign you up for art classes? And thus began my love of creating art. I took any art class or program in my community to keep feeding my desire to create art projects. By the time I reached high school, art class was my standard for my elective classes, and I moved past just the ordinary drawing of the fruit baskets. But during these younger days, I would have never called myself an artist, or even creative for that matter. I didn't see my future as somebody who would make art for a living. I didn't even know why I was drawn to painting or why I would draw pictures of all of my stuffed animals that were on my bed. I created for the pure, honest sake of moving through the process of creating. And I certainly wouldn't have called myself an artist when I took art classes in my 20s that coincided with pursuing my second college degree in the visual arts. Nor would I have considered myself creative during the time I tried to write a kid's book in my 30s. I actually still have that manuscript someplace in my office, and one of these days I am going to pull that thing out and look into that again. But nope, I didn't think I was creative. I have a business degree, and I have spent most of my adult life working in marketing. I couldn't see how someone who was a marketing consultant could be qualified to call themselves a creative. I always connected that term with somebody who made their living selling their art. And I certainly didn't look at myself in a creative way until I found myself developing what I refer to as that creative insight process, that foundation of the Create Your Business, never run out of content ideas by tapping into your creativity monthly subscription program. The process that I developed became one of the core ideas that business owners really do need unstructured playtime to help them build their business and to develop their content strategy. So for the past 20 years, I've coached women in various stages of owning their small businesses. From all of those years of working with women with an entrepreneurial spirit, I designed the Create Your Business program to give them the tools to activate the creative side of their brain. I personally subscribe to the theory that we are all born creative. We just need to learn a path to help bring that creative energy out of us and into our lives. And let me be honest here, and let me just put this one piece out here too, more than just being honest. Creative energy doesn't just mean that you're painting or drawing or writing a book. Being creative, that's going to help you make that change and that pivot and that developing that content that you're really wanting to develop so that you can reach new communities and connect with new customers. You're going to have a hard time understanding this because, let me just say it another way here. I'm trying really hard to make this as clear as possible. I get it. You're probably having a hard time understanding the ideas behind all of this stuff that I'm talking about, tapping into your creativity to develop your content and to make a change in your life as well as developing your business. Because your brain technically hates the idea of thinking differently. Remember in those other 2 videos when I talked about how we go into autopilot and then we move through the different places and then we find ourselves living in this routine and living into this space? It has everything to do with our comfort level in our brain. Because here's the thing about human beings. We're all predisposed to do the same things over and over again, whether it's working or not. And because we find ourselves doing the same thing, we tell ourselves this will be the time that something different will happen. What's that expression? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Well, that's what we do to ourselves. That's what we do to ourselves when we're creating our content. That's what we do to ourselves when we're trying to make a change in our business or making a pivot in our life. We continue to find ourselves staying in the same place year after year after year, but yet wanting something so different to happen. And I get it. I totally get it. It's really not your fault. This isn't something that we were taught in high school, and it's certainly not something that we were taught in college, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to share this. I really think this is so important for you all to get, because this is a different way of looking at making this change and really understanding our creative energy and how this is going to help us build our business, help us make changes in our lives, as well as tapping into our creativity to create the content that we know is going to resonate with that customer, with that particular client out there who is going to hit that buy here button and is going to end up being your greatest fan. Because here's the thing about all this, like I'm saying, I get it. You haven't been shown any other way to turn these ideas that you have into real income producing products and services. And maybe you just even haven't been shown a different way to see how this could help you in your life and to help you move past, feeling rejection of not getting that job or the hurt of a decades-long relationship that didn't work out. Because I know that there's tons of advice and blog posts and YouTube videos to help you make a shift in your life. I know. You know why I know? Because I read them and I watched them and I kept thinking over and over again, I get it, that makes sense, but why am I still here? Why am I still feeling this way? And it wasn't until I tapped into this creative insight process, tapped into this idea of spending time in my creative energy that really things started to shift for me, and really things started to move forward, and started to find my focus with my work, and feeling so good that I just wrote this book because I wanted to share this with you, because I know what's out there. And unfortunately, the information out there sometimes it doesn't seem to go beyond these recommendations that you just got to work harder. You just got to believe you can do it. Say your affirmations. You can do it. Yeah. Because this whole pivot process is totally messed up. It's not you. It's the process itself. So I hope that you'll continue to listen to me as I move through this creative insight process, and to share with you with I Just Did a Thing series of the books that I'm reading to you right now, the chapters, because I want to give you the opportunity to set yourself free by navigating a new direction in a totally creative way, that you're going to see real change in your life, in your business, and everything else around you. So thank you again for joining me. And I look forward to reading some more and sharing some more with you as we dig more into the I Just Did a Thing series. And you're going to learn a creative approach to pivoting and designing a revolutionary changes in life and business that's going to bring you more than just customers and clients. It's going to help you feel your joy. Thank you so much.